Welcome. It's Facts You Don't Know. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more, well, and first make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything.
Gerardo was a 35-year-old man who lived with his wife Laura, 30, and their daughter Blanca, just 5 years old, in the town of Cajamarca in Peru. Gerardo was a hard-working and responsible man and had his own grocery store in the center of town, while Laura took care of the house and taking care of Blanca. They had lived a relatively calm marriage, because although Laura used to be a bit of controlling, Gerardo was a very gentle and loving man. When he noticed that his wife was irritated, he, with a firm but subtle voice, made Laura calm down. So in more than 5 years of life together, there were never major problems. When Gerardo was 24 years old, he met Alina, a beautiful 18-year-old girl who lived near the store where Gerardo worked at that time. Little did she leave her home, and she was very homely, and her parents took great care of her. Gerardo hardly saw her. He fell in love with her sweetness and beauty. Alina was also attracted to Gerardo, and thus began a small friendship that only consisted of Alina's short visits to the store when her parents ordered her to buy something. But the love and attraction grew little by little with each short conversation. From that fleeting love, Ariana was born. But Helena's parents, very upset and disappointed, took their daughter and granddaughter far away. Gerardo never heard from them again until 11 years later, when one day Helena's older sister knocked on his door. As soon as Gerardo opened the door, he recognized her and said, "Carmen, what a surprise. It's been so long. Tell me, what are you doing here? Did something happen?" Carmen responded with Gerardo, "I'm sorry I arrived without warning. I have 2 days trying to get to your house. Fortunately, you still live in the same town and everybody knows each other. Alina has died, and I have come to bring you your daughter. I'm really sorry my parents took you away from them. The truth is, it is news that impacts a lot. They too have passed away, so there is no reason for you to be apart." Gerardo felt great joy. Immediately, he hugged his little girl and said, "Ariana, that's what he calls you, right? I chose your name. I want you to know that I have always loved you, little girl. I never stopped thinking about you. But you see that the relationship with your grandparents was very complicated. That at this time no longer matters. You are here already. Now I can take care of you and watch you grow up happy." Gerardo continued speaking. "Thanks, Carmen. I don't know how to thank you for allowing me to have my little girl. Thanks with all of my heart." Carmen left feeling very happy to have left her niece with her father, since Gerardo and Ariana needed each other, but the arrival of Ariana was not a joy for all. It turns out that her stepmother was very upset, full of anger and jealousy. As soon as Gerardo closed the door of his house, he said to his wife, "Love, look, I present to you Ariana, my eldest daughter. I remember that I've always told you about her, right? Sadly, her mother has recently died, and her aunt has brought her with me so that she doesn't feel alone and helpless. So I ask you to please make her feel at home." Laura immediately didn't agree. "Then she has no family other than you. The truth does not seem correct to me. Which is your aunt? I brought her to my house just like that. I remind you that this is also my house, and that I decide who enters and who does not. Besides, you don't know with what tricks this girl will come if she really is your daughter." Gerardo, a bit annoyed with Laura's cruel tone of voice, responded as always, firm but calm and with a light voice. "Laura, dear, I must not give you explanations about Alina's family. I will only say that they are people with an unblemished reputation, and that is precisely why they were so hard on the fault that Alina and I committed. From seeing each other secretly, I do not see that the family creating such a serious lie about Alina's death, and to complete it, a girl who is not my daughter is going to my house. For Ariana, it is enough to have lost her mother, and from one moment to another, or come live with strange people. So please, I need you to change your tone, and we live in harmony." The conversation ended there. Ariana went to her new room and just lay on the bed crying until she fell asleep. During the following days, Laura made life squares for Ariana, left her without eating, held up what little she ate, yelled at her, shoved her out of the room where she played with her little sister, and poor Ariana didn't say anything. Perhaps out of embarrassment or fear that he wasn't going to scold her, Laura put poor Ariana as her servant. As they say popularly, she washed the bathroom or scrubbed the floors. She took care of her little sister while Laura slept. One day, Lyra asked Ariana to bring her a glass of water to the couch. When the girl was walking, Laura made you stumble. The girl fell to the floor. The glass broke. The small pieces shattered, reaching very close to where Blanca was playing. Of course, Laura changed the whole story, and when her husband arrived from work, he told him, Gerardo can no longer put up with that girl and her nonsense. For being rude, he has almost hurt our white girl. It turns out that I asked him for the favor. He gave me a glass of water and threw it onto the floor. The pieces of glass came very close to where the girl was, and I had to run to catch her before the worst happened. Gerardo stared at Ariana and said, This is me, or a certain daughter. Tell me what happened today. Ariana was completely silent, just staring at her father as her eyes filled with tears. Gerardo insisted, Ariana, please, tell me something. Ariana, much more scared, just kept silent and went to her room. Laura, with a satisfied smile, said, You see, I have been right. She is a girl with bad behavior, and she is going to have to go back the way she came. You won't let me hurt our Blanca, will you, Gerardo? Gerardo only looked at Laura with doubt and did not answer her at all. That afternoon, Gerardo went out to the garden with his little daughter Blanca and said, acting like a wise and intelligent father, asked her while they were playing, Listen to me, little princess. Tell me something. Do you like to play with Ariana? How does she treat you? The girl replied with joy, Yes, Daddy. I love playing with my sister. I taught myself many new things. She reads me stories and we play Princess Castle. I don't want it to ever go away. With that, it happened to Gerardo to realize that his suspicions were true. Laura was lying and had wanted to manipulate him. The next day, he left very early to work. But what Laura would not imagine is that his husband would stay in the back of the house, listening to all the hurtful words she said to Ariana. You'll see, filthy orphan, my husband who will be getting out of this house very soon. You are not my daughter's sister. Who knows who your real father will be? Surely your mother's vagrant was with another man, and she wanted to fool everyone by saying that Gerardo was your father. It was because of the shame that your grandparents went away from the town. They did know her daughter. Suddenly, Gerardo opened the door and said, How good it was to discover who you were. I was sure my daughter couldn't be all that you said. Her mother was very exemplary, of good principles and very loving. I am not sorry I married you. Thanks to you, I have my little white girl. But I will not allow you to fill her with your poison. I want you to go right now. Laura replied, Well, if you choose your orphan daughter before me, I'd better get out, but I'm taking my daughter with me. Immediately Blanquita said, No, Daddy, don't let her take me away. You heard my daughter. She doesn't want to go with you and you can't force her. Get out of here and we'll see you in court. They were the last words Gerardo said. Friends, now tell us what you think of this story. What do you think about Laura's attitude? How would you have acted if you were in Gerardo's position? Leave us your answer in the comments section so we can all read it. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet, and activate the notification bell so that you are number one when we upload a new story. We'll save them. Until next time.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.